And then on the personal level, well, I'm planning a wedding, so
Who is the GOAT of men's tennis?
I'm not gonna say like, well, it's because it was my game or my mental side. No, I couldn't move really. So
Are you still working with Toni Nadal?
yeah, there is a feeling for myself or other players, sense of urgency in a way if we want to stay in
Mhm.
touch with them. But you need to win, and it's super hard.
All right, we have a very special guest on the slice today, a returning friend of the show, none other than Canadian Felix Auger-Aliassime. Felix, our man, how you doing?
Thanks. I'm good. I'm good. Off season has been good so far. I'm feeling good. Ready to start a new year. It's actually crazy how I was just remembering how fast time goes. Right? It's starting my sixth probably season on the tour, or like sixth season in the top 100 or so. So yeah, it goes fast. But I'm ready for another one.
Hey,
Crazy.
and before we get into the tennis career, time does go by fast, and something huge happened in your life this
Correct.
year. My man
Correct.
got down on one knee. I did the same.
Yeah.
I got married this past August, and I know when I was proposing to my now wife, I was
Yeah.
nervous down there. I'm on the
Yeah.
knee, I'm shaking, I'm trying to say my words. Walk us through
Yeah.
how you were feeling when you were down there asking her.
I was also, I mean, a bit nervous in the end, but
Yeah,
you would think, I mean, all leading up to it, because obviously we had talked about it that we wanted to, um, get there sooner or later. I mean, soon,
Right.
like in the next few years. And I think she was, expecting it to come um, this year or maybe next year. And you always think like, oh, I mean, I'm with this person, been with this person for years. Like, I'm not gonna be nervous asking that. We know where we're
right.
going. This is natural. But in the end, yeah, it is like a big moment where you're like, you want to say the right things. You don't want to like, you visualize it in your head and you want it to be as you've dreamt it. But it was beautiful because we were on vacation. I wanted to keep it really private too.
Yeah,
So it was just two of us. I'm not a big fan of, I don't know, having somebody there in the corner taking pictures. I just
right.
feel like it kills our moment. So yeah, it was very private, and then we were able to catch some pictures at the sunset where we were. So it was a beautiful night. Yeah, definitely one to remember.
I love it, man. Hey, well, congratulations. It's the
Thank you,
the
thank you,
the best trophy you can have in life is having an awesome
for
wife,
sure,
and I'm sure she's awesome. So,
for sure, for
congrats.
sure.
Yeah.
No, she's great. She's great.
So to the tennis, we're at the end of the season here. Obviously, you've hopefully had some time to relax and reflect. Like, how would you summarize your 2024 season, on the court?
I mean, I guess like everybody that follows me, it's been a rocky year, ups and downs. Amazing. Like every year, I've been able, fortunately, to live amazing emotions on the court, like amazing moments, such as the Olympics this year, where not only the medal in the end, the cherry on top, like we all wish it was a gold one, but it was like still like you get to the Olympics, not many people get out with a medal, so to that was amazing. But also my tournament in singles there, finishing fourth, I just felt like I was really playing some great tennis and my feelings on the court were great. So that was a highlight of my year. Obviously, yeah, some other good wins, some other good matches, some were lost, but yeah, it was a tough year because I felt that I was doing right things off the court. I was compared to 2023, I was feeling good physically. I was healthy, and yeah, just not capitalizing on the work that I was doing. So um, you know, I try to work, on the off time, but still stay close to competition. I'm gonna play as many events as I can play, I guess, or matches, and I hope to win many matches so I can win again and get on winning streaks and get back up in the rankings. That's the first goal, in this first quarter of the year.
Right on. Yeah, and it sounds like maybe the Olympics was it, but what would that be your best moment of 2024? Because, like you said, you had some highs and lows. Like you made the final Madrid, you
Yeah,
got a medal at the Olympics representing your country. What was your
yeah,
best moment of 2024?
yeah. Probably that for sure. The Olympics. I mean, come on, it's once every 4 years.
Yeah.
You from the first match, the atmosphere was unique, and then you get a like start winning, and then you get a chance to play all the way into the semifinals on center court. That was an amazing moment. Even if that eventually ended with two losses in singles, still the tournament was great. I had some amazing moments there for sure. So that would have to be at the top.
Love it. And I know the last 2 years you've kind of been dealing with some injuries. Currently, I work for a podcast that a couple of ex-NFL guys host, and our guy, he had an ACL injury 1 year, and he would kind of talk about when he was coming back in to that next season playing
Mhm.
when the knee is healthy. Some guys it messes with their mental side of it. How do you
Mhm.
feel like you deal with it coming into this season? Do you think about the injuries? Do you trust the work that you've put in, or what's kind of your take on it?
Yeah. No, well, I would say that was more this year. Like there was the first half of the year where it's still challenging because
Yeah.
I had some procedures done on my knee at the end of 23. So the first quarter of the year was tricky because I didn't know, I wasn't feeling fully fit, like and like reactive and explosive and moving well. So it was a tricky start. But then as the clay season arrived, I started feeling better and better. So I had the first, few months where I made the final in Madrid and all the way until the Olympics. Like my results were good, and then I was still healthy the rest of the year. Then there's just the tennis wasn't good, but like I've been feeling good for a while now. That whatever like knee injury I had almost 2 years, no, not 2 years ago now, like a year ago is is far behind now. Like, and it's
Yeah.
not in my head anymore. So I'm feeling great. I've been moving well on the court these last few weeks. So all green lights heading into the new season.
Cool.
That's cool.
And heading into the new season with your team, first of all, are you still working with Toni Nadal? I know he's still listed on the ATP tour, but is he still consulting for
No,
you?
no, it was done organically. Again, I'm not huge on announcing like, oh, I work with this person, now I'm done. Like, because you just don't know in life. Like, I mean, we had a great relationship, and I felt that at some point in the year we talked, and I felt like, okay, I'm gonna um, for these next tournaments and until I guess further notice in a way, like I'm gonna stay with my coach Fred. My dad's gonna come and join us more and more. So I felt like that was what I wanted to do. And then I haven't looked back since. But we were in touch throughout the season at times. Like I have a huge amount of respect for him. He's helped me with a few things, and he's been able to, yeah. Like I had a great year in 2022 where he was part of it, and he was active and he was there. So great deal of respect for him. And but currently, no, he won't be traveling with me to tournaments.
Cool. And with your team, maybe it's fair to say over the last couple of years, 2021, you had your kind of first breakthroughs at the majors. You got, we went really deep. Australian Open 2022, you made quarters. And then, for the last two seasons, some of the early rounds, you've had struggles in the early rounds
Yeah,
at majors, maybe more than
yeah,
you have in like the Masters or three set
yeah,
matches, if that's
yeah.
fair to say. Have you guys been able to pinpoint like maybe what has been the struggle in some of those matches?
Well, if I go case by case, because every one of them is different. If we started like, I mean, 2023, I was in the fourth round of the Australian Open. Had a tough loss there with tie breaks with against Heshka, and then after that, it was really like injury wise the rest of that year. Like,
Mm.
unfortunately, looking back, yeah, I mean, should I have played some of those Grand Slams? I have no regrets. Like, it's a Grand Slam. Like, I want to give myself a try, but I wasn't in any way. If you look at the matches, if you go back and even look at you know the
Yeah.
matches, you can just see that I'm not ready to play. So
I think a
there's
lot of
that,
people
and then
didn't actually even know that you were really injured during some of those matches. So they're just seeing you lose and they're
yeah, and
like,
that's I take full responsibility, and like I have no, that's what I said. Like I'm not one to be whining now and be like, oh, but you didn't know I was hurt. Like I took the court and like I played.
yeah,
Right.
But if you ask me now if we were able to pinpoint the reasons, I have to talk about the injury because I'm not gonna say like, well, it's because it was my game or my mental side. No, I couldn't move really,
mm,
so I'm not gonna say anything else. But then yes, this year, unfortunately, Australia, I'm ranked a little bit worse, or like not seated as high. I played Daniil in Australia last year, or sorry, at the start of this year. Then played Carlos in the fourth round of the French Open. Tough matches that I just felt like, yeah, my level wasn't there. I wasn't as high, or it wasn't high enough to be competitive. And then the most disappointing for me were two last Grand Slams of this year, both Wimbledon and U.S. Open, because I felt like my preparation was great. I felt healthy. I just felt as good as when I had those runs where I made quarterfinals or semifinals. But sometimes in sports, it's tough to really pinpoint what exactly in our preparation went wrong. It's
Mhm.
more, you have to see the matchup, and you have to see, okay, how did I play? What can I learn more? So I have all the tools that, regardless of the challenge that's in front of me or how I'm feeling that day, I can scramble a win in 4 or 5 sets and get through. But so that was really the thing. But looking into the future, I feel like I'll be a better version for sure of myself.
Fair enough. Yeah, and we believe that, and people would forget it's just also each tournament is just one match, like, and it's
Right.
not easy to win any matches
Hmm.
on the tour. Maybe to just a bit of a lighter note, or maybe a sad note. Nadal retired this year, obviously. Rafa, you guys have had some great battles through your career. I'm thinking back to the Roland Garros 2022, I think.
Yeah.
Um, do you have a best memory of Nadal on tour in your interactions with him?
Uh, First match we've played, Madrid, 2019. Actually, I played Dennis the first round, and we're like, the winner of our match was gonna play Rafa. So it was like, well, that's a crazy draw. Like, you play your good buddy on tour, and like, to play Rafa in Madrid. So that was something. I felt like I was still 18, like just my first
Yeah.
year really like playing all those tournaments. It was like intimidating, and it was like, okay, how am I, like, I just don't want to get embarrassed really. And we're playing on clay. Like, I'm like, okay, like I've never been scared of a
You're like, let's
loss.
win a game. Like, let's win a
Yeah,
game.
like I was never,
This is like I
in
beat
my
him, you
whole,
can beat him too.
I can say like I've had some bad losses in my whole life, as a junior or whatever, but I was never scared of a loss. But this one I was like, okay, let me just put on like something that is that up to what I know I can do. And the match was okay. It was like 3-4 or something. But
Yeah.
that was a good memory. Like the first time we played, obviously the French Open match, and I'm trying to think of moments outside the court. I mean, I went to the academy a few times at his academy to train. We didn't have extended, I think, ever like conversations.
Right.
Um, but he was always so humble, and so, I mean, I know I'm like repeating what people say, but it's true. Like, he's really like, for the superstar he is, like, because I feel like we're used to, like, in American sports, like these guys are massive celebrities, and like, they're almost like, they feel like, okay, like, they're you can't like talk to them, like they don't feel like
Right.
attainable in a way. But
Mm,
Rafa is like, if you meet him, he really like talks to you like a normal guy. Like,
mm.
he's super super humble, and I respect that a lot. I feel like to have that level of success in the sport, and to be a legend of your sport, and to stay so down to earth is not for everybody. So I take a lot of I admire that, and I think that describes him really well.
Cool. Talking about Alcaraz and Sinner, they've had a great past year and a half. They've won 5 of the last 6 majors, and they're kind of in the younger. They're in that same group of young stars
Yeah.
like yourself. It's just, to a lot of people, it seems like they're kind of pulling away from the pack in a way. Does it feel like that to you and the other players who you've beaten? I think both of them. Um, like, what's the feeling that you maybe have from the other players of like where their level is at compared to the kind of like the rest of the group?
Well, it's a bit different, both of them cases, because well, Alcaraz, we saw from the moment he stepped on, his first Grand Slam, that he was going to be special, like crazy special. And even though I was able to get some wins over him the first times we played, like, it's been hard the last time we've played. So, um, and his rise, yeah, was like one of a kind. Youngest number one in the world.
Mm,
Um, so yeah, there is a feeling for myself or other players that there's a sense of urgency in a way if we want to stay in
Hmm.
touch with them, because what he's at 4 Grand Slams now, Alcaraz, and then two. So it's like, obviously if they start winning more, but if another guy goes and starts winning one, then it's like, okay, maybe a second one. Like, but you need to win, and it's super hard. So it's like
Mm,
there's yes a sense of urgency. Like, okay, you can't let them, win more. And if they do, it's congrats to them, but they'll just start pulling away, right? And
mm,
that's just what's gonna happen. So there's really two way it's gonna go. And Sinner is a bit different than Alcaraz because in a way, let's say 2 years ago, he didn't finish the year in the top 10, and now his rise was. I mean, we always knew his qualities. Like, he was always going to be a top player, but
mm,
um, the year he's had is one of a kind as well. And it's. I mean, I was impressed many times. With how consistent he was able to be to play as well, because he had a great finish last year. Started beating some guys he was struggling to beat, but I don't think when he won the Australian Open, it was already wow. But the year he had after that
mm.
was like Federer 2005, six. I don't know, like, so
Yeah, that's real. Yeah,
special two guys. But let's try to not let them win every slam from now on.
yeah, that's
Yes,
right.
sir.
More players to the party next year.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yep. And then we just have like a few other quick things for you, and we'll get you out of here. One of them, we're at
Yeah.
the end of the new year. I don't know, or we're about to be in the new year. I don't know if you're a New Year's resolutions guy, but what are some of your New Year's resolutions? Can be on the court, can be off the court. What are you gonna be working on this year?
Ooh. On the court, I want to be. Well, first thing, I mean, actually, before I forget, is just health, right? Like,
Right.
and for you guys, for everybody, your, you know, loved ones and friends, like, it's everything, and um, it's, I think it's just important to remind ourselves in the world we live in today, everything goes so fast, and
Hmm.
um, we're always trying to achieve more, which is great, but to take a moment, and the end of the year is actually a good moment to be like, okay, I'm healthy, I'm good, people around me are healthy, they're good. It's a good reminder. So I wish everybody that. I wish myself that, health first, and then in terms of resolutions, I feel like uh, I'm healthy. I'm playing good tennis. I'm practicing well. I want to be the best competitor I can be. And I think
Hmm.
um, like find a way to bring out the best version out of me, or at least on the given day. I'm not gonna always play my best, but at least in what I control in my mind and how competitive I am, I want to be that best version. So that's something I want to put in place. And then on the personal level, well, I'm planning a wedding, so
Come on.
Hey,
uh,
so the
so
wedding's
big.
2025.
Yeah, I mean, we're not sure yet. We're not sure yet. Hopefully, but we'll see. We're not in a rush, So we're gonna take our time to plan it and make something nice. But yeah, on a personal side, that's something that's a nice event to plan. It's not every year um, that you're planning something like this, so that's uh, that's something good for this year.
Hey, look,
For sure.
I know we just met, but I have been told I'm a pretty good groomsman. If you need somebody to fill in a spot, you let me
Are
know.
you a
I'll
good
make it
dancer
happen.
though?
I
He
can
is a good
dance. I can
dancer.
dance.
You can dance. You can dance. All right.
I can't dance good, but I can dance.
Yeah,
Perfect.
that's
Perfect.
definitely true. Okay, Felix, we had a few quick fire questions. You mind if we just do like 6 or 7
Yeah.
quick fire questions? Like we're at the net, quick volleys, like 2 word answers.
Yeah. Let's do it.
JP, start us off.
Number one, what is your favorite tournament on tour?
Wimbledon.
Who is the GOAT of men's tennis?
Djokovic.
Mm.
Numbers
Best
don't lie. I'm sorry.
numbers don't lie. I'm with you. Best pre-match meal or your favorite pre-match meal?
I hate it, but the best is rice and chicken with no sauce, nothing dry. I
Oh,
mean, but I think once I'm retired, I'm never eating that again.
Crazy. Who was your favorite player growing up?
I'll say two. I'll say Roger and Tsonga.
oh, nice. What is the best concert you have ever been to?
Man, I haven't been to a concert in a while. I need to go back. Uh, I would say Drake concert at
Oh,
Madison
nice.
Square Garden. back in 2018. It was
Loudest player in the locker room.
Francis Tiafoe for sure.
Doesn't surprise me.
What is the most nervous you've ever been before a match?
Finals Davis Cup.
Mm.
Which
2022.
ended up I played great, but when it's just like, yeah, like you can end it today, like you can, and Dennis got the win, and I was like, can live
It's
that
on
trophy,
you.
like kind of depends on me, and the whole squad is there watching the whole. I mean, first time in Canadian history, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
it's a big deal. Let's do this.
Let's do it. Well, that's some great energy to take into remembering that win, remembering that victory for Canada. That's some great energy to take into 2025.
For sure, for sure.
We appreciate you, man. Felix, thanks for stopping by on
Thanks,
the
guys.
Spice
Thank you.
again.
Thank you. It's a
You're a
pleasure.
friend of the show, and we will catch you in the new year.
Sounds good, guys. I'll talk to you next year. And
Yes,
if not,
sir.
we'll do a recap of. We'll set up an appointment already for next year.
All right. Well, we'll
Love
just
it.
schedule the same time next
Recap
year. We'll see you.
2025.
Appreciate
right.
you.
Okay.
All right.
Appreciate it, Felix.
See you guys. Take care.